Just to be whoever you are is no disgrace. Don't be scared if you don't fit in. Look who's in the reject bin. It's the Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Dolls like you and me. Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls.
Made him perfectly. So if you got a bump on your nose or lumps on your toes, do not despair. Be like the Raggy Dolls and say I just don't care. 'Cause Raggy Dolls,
Raggy Dolls.
Raggy Dolls,
Raggy Dolls.
are happy just to be Raggy Dolls, Raggy Dolls, dolls like you and me.
One bright spring Saturday morning, Claude was up very early and nosing about in the canteen kitchen. It was his favourite place in the whole factory. Today, he was going to try something he'd never done before. He was going to make some chocolate. All the Raggy Dolls were still fast asleep in the reject bin when a sweet smell came drifting through the factory. Sad Sack was the first to wake up.
I can smell chocolate,
He thought,
I must be dreaming.
and he pinched himself on the arm to make sure.
Ow!
Said Sad Sack, rubbing his arm. By now, all the Raggy Dolls were awake. They made their way to the kitchen, where they found Claude happily stirring an enormous saucepan. It was full to the brim with thick, runny chocolate.
Ah, mes amis, called Claude. Come and taste what I am cooking. C'est magnifique, n'est-ce pas?
Claude dipped in a spoon, and one by one, the Raggy Dolls tasted the chocolate.
It's wonderful,
Said Princess.
brilliant.
Stammered Hi-Fi. Sad Sack closed his eyes and didn't care if he was dreaming or not.
You are clever, said Dotty. But why did you make so much?
Claude sighed.
I did not mean to, but at first the mixture was too thick, and then I make it too thin, and then again too thick, and then, et voila, too much.
The Raggy Dolls laughed.
Never mind,
Said Lucy.
it tastes delicious, even if there is too much.
There's no such thing as too much chocolate,
Thought Sad Sack, as he tasted just a little bit more.
What are we going to do with all this chocolate?
Said Princess.
That is simple,
Said Claude.
Have you all forgotten what day it is tomorrow?
Tomorrow?
Of course,
Said Back to Front.
it's Easter Sunday. Exactement,
Said Claude.
that is why I prepare le chocolat. We shall make les Easter eggs.
Good thinking, said Dotty. 3 cheers for Claude. Hip hip. All the Raggy Dolls cheered except Hi-Fi. He was looking very thoughtful. At last, he spoke.
Excuse me, but how are we going to make egg shapes?
A stunned silence fell. The Raggy Dolls looked at Hi-Fi, then at the enormous saucepan of runny chocolate, and then at Claude. Claude shrugged. Even he had no idea.
No problem, said Back to Front suddenly. We need spoons, lots and lots of spoons.
Back to Front's idea was wonderfully simple. Fill up a spoon with runny chocolate, wait till it cools down and goes hard. Tap the spoon and out comes half a chocolate egg. Stick together 2 halves and you get a whole chocolate egg.
We must save some runny chocolate to stick the halves together,
said Back to Front. At last, every spoon in the canteen was filled with chocolate. There was even enough to fill 2 ladles to make a really big Easter egg. The Raggy Dolls sat down for a well-earned rest.
Phew, I had no idea making Easter eggs was such a business,
Said Princess.
I quite agree,
Said Dotty.
but what are we going to do with them all when they're finished? There are far too many for us to eat. We must share them,
Said Lucy.
Who with?
Said Sad Sack.
We'll think of something.
Said Dotty.
Come on, let's see if the chocolate's gone hard.
It was dark by the time 7 very tired Raggy Dolls climbed back into the reject bin. They had made 100 chocolate eggs and had washed up 200 spoons. The next morning, the Raggy Dolls had wished each other Happy Easter. They'd had chocolate eggs for breakfast, 2 each, and now they were carrying the rest in a box across the big field towards the dark wood. They had decided to give away Easter eggs to anyone they met. Mother Duck took 6 for her ducklings. They had great fun pecking the chocolate eggs into little pieces. A mole who'd popped out of his hole had said the Raggy Dolls were most kind when they'd wished him Happy Easter and given him an egg. Soon the Raggy Dolls came across a young rabbit eating a dandelion.
Oh, look, said Princess. A Easter bunny.
Happy Easter, Bunny, said the Raggy Dolls, and Claude offered him an egg. The bunny stopped chewing and said,
Oh, Happy Easter. What's that you've got?
It's a chocolate egg,
said Lucy.
Happy Easter.
The bunny couldn't believe his luck. Dandelion leaves are really sour.
You're giving away chocolate eggs?
Yes, said the Raggy Dolls. We've got more than we need.
Is it all right if I tell my brothers and sisters?
Said the bunny, a little slyly.
Of course,
Said the Raggy Dolls.
Right then,
Said the bunny.
I'll take my egg and send along the others, OK?
The Raggy Dolls watched as the bunny hopped away with his egg. Moments later, another bunny appeared.
Hello, Happy Easter. My brother says you're giving away Easter eggs.
Mais oui, said Claude, taking another egg out of the box.
They are made of the finest chocolate à la Claude.
Oh, yes, very nice too, said the bunny, and the Raggy Doll smiled as he hopped away with his egg. One by one, more and more bunnies came and wished the Raggy Dolls Happy Easter and hopped away with a chocolate egg.
Well, we are certainly managing to share a lot of Easter eggs.
Yes, said Dotty. Aren't there a lot of Easter bunnies about today?
Yes, said Sad Sack. And isn't it strange how they all look the same?
What Sad Sack and the others didn't know was that it was the same Easter bunny. He now had a pile of 20 or more eggs, and he was planning to eat them all himself. When no more bunnies came, the Raggy Dolls decided to move on. They picked up the box and headed for the dark wood, where they would find badgers and squirrels. Instead, they met a mother rabbit looking very worried.
I'm looking for one of my sons, she said.
She told the Raggy Dolls that all the bunnies had been ordered to stay in the warren because a man had been walking a dog that morning.
Raggy Dolls to the rescue,
stuttered Hi-Fi. In the middle of the big field, they heard a moaning and groaning.
Oh dear,
whispered Lucy.
Are we too late? Has the dog got him?
Her knees began to knock.
No,
said Dotty.
There's no sign of a dog. Come on.
They soon found a very fat Easter bunny, rolling on his back, clutching his tummy, surrounded by a few half-eaten chocolate eggs.
You silly little bunny,
said his mother.
It serves you right.
The selfish little bunny had eaten so much chocolate, he had a really bad tummy ache. The mother rabbit thanked the Raggy Dolls for their help and said she would make sure that the rest of the eggs would be shared equally with all the bunnies in the warren. As the Raggy Dolls walked back to the factory, Sad Sack thought to himself,
To think I thought there was no such thing as too much chocolate. Ho hum. Would anyone like to share this Easter egg?
He called to the others. And Sad Sack held up the very big egg he'd been planning to eat all by himself.
It's not much of a life when you're just a pretty face. Just to be whoever you are is no disgrace. Look around and you will find people of every kind, like the Raggy Dolls,
Raggy Dolls,
Raggy Dolls,
Raggy Dolls,
dolls like you and me. Raggy Dolls,
Raggy Dolls,
Raggy Dolls,
Raggy Dolls,
made imperfectly. So if you're not at ease with your knobbly knees and your fingers are all thumbs, stand on your two left feet and join our Raggy Doll chums. 'Cause Raggy Dolls,
Raggy Dolls,
Raggy Dolls
Raggy
are
Dolls,
happy just to be Raggy Dolls, Raggy Dolls, dolls like you and me.